See, when I'm in a relationship, you know I'm in a relationship the moment I walk into the room. It doesn't matter if he's there. The way that I even so much as look at other men is a way that I know will represent him well. It's not controlling. It's not toxic. It's called respect.
Genuinely curious about this, but when you see a girl posting about how she's ready to be a wife, ready to settle down, ready for her commitment, ready for her one true love, and then she posts an active OF account, and then she's still trying to push people to subscribe to, is that wife material right there? Because if that's what it takes to become a wife nowadays, I'm literally going to be alone with my cats. Like, my cats are going to end up eating my body because that's how single I'm going to be.
My single ladies in your 30s, mid-30s more so, how are you all doing? Are we finding that it's a very wild place out here? Hear me out. Where are all the actual men that are our age? Where are all the mid-30s, late 30s, even early 40s guys? Where are they? Because tell me why I'm getting moved to by guys in their 20s, lads in their 20s, or guys in their late 50s. Where is all the in-between? If anybody knows, please tell me.
You know, a lot of modern women don't really do anything. So that's why modern men stopped initiating. And you're mad at the man because he stopped initiating, but he was really acting like a bum. I mean, honestly and truly.
When you're selecting a partner, you need to stay loyal and on your boundaries. What I mean by this is if you have a partner and she's beautiful, she's intelligent, she's so great, but she keeps breaking your boundaries. She keeps disrespecting you. She doesn't, listen to your advice, or she keeps, in contact with an ex, or there's something going on that's a deal breaker. Every time you forgive that deal breaker, it will come back magnified. So when you pick a partner, when you're watching out for the deal breakers and you're using those deal breakers as a signal that that she's not good for you, you will pick correctly. People don't respect the person who accepts their unacceptable behavior.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
Sometimes it feels like you've almost been taught to make excuses for him. Like if he's silent, maybe because it's shy. If he's being distant, maybe because it's just that he's so deep. And if he's being inconsistent, maybe it's because he has fear. But honestly, fear of rejection shouldn't make someone disappear. It just makes them fumble a little awkward. It can make them show up scared, but it doesn't make them not show up entirely. So I decided to ask Magneta, and if you've never heard of Magneta, it's really great. It's like ChatGPT for women. But I asked her, what are signs that he's just scared of rejection or just not into it at all? And she said scared of rejection looks like him being nervous around you, not distant. Stammering through jokes, not going cold. If his fear keeps him from trying at all, that's still a no. Your time shouldn't wait for his courage. You don't need to build him a story where his inaction is about his feelings instead of his choices.
I mean, I know guys say, well, I don't want to be rejected. And that a lot of that is true when talking about approaching people, approaching women. But a lot of times it's a backlash that you're going to give the guy because you're emotionally stunted.
You really want to know how a good man gets his heart broken within a relationship? When he has told you time and time again what matters most to him, and yet he continues to be told why it shouldn't matter, or why it should matter less than this or that. But the really messed up thing is that he is the opposite with his partner. He makes sure that when she talks about something that matters to her, that thing now matters to him just as much. Which is why he appreciates a partner that tells him what she wants, because it makes it a lot easier for him to do this for her. But even when she's not good at telling him, he still tries to pull it out of her. He'll ask her clarifying questions. He'll validate her feelings. He will show respect for her opinion, because making her feel loved and prioritized matters to him. But the problem is that when he reveals what he wants on the rare occasion, she calls it controlling and labels him as insecure. When the truth is that man just wants some reciprocation. And when he realizes he's not going to get it, that is when he's heartbroken.
Okay, this is for all my single girlies in their late 20s, early 30s. Where are we finding men now?
Well, if they're not hiding at home playing video games,
doing their hobbies or hanging out with friends. You might find them at work, you might find them just out in public, but they're not typically making the first move because we asked them not to, so they're respecting our boundaries. And yes, a lot of them are also on dating apps, but you're probably swiping left on them for superficial things, when the reality is he may not have all the physical qualities that you're hoping for. Instead, his personality will be incredible when you get to know him. Or he might not have the best messages because maybe he hasn't been on as many dates. But you overlook these guys for silly reasons, when instead you could go on more dates and get to know some of these guys, and I'm sure you'll find one that you really end up liking. But I'm assuming that's not the answer you wanted to hear, right? You wanted me to answer, oh, there's none left, they're gone, they don't exist. Because I would relieve you of putting in extra work into your own dating life. Sorry, that's not how it is.
You know, I think modern women don't really understand that having standards are fine. It's just when it sounds like a demand. It sounds like entitlement. And then on top of the entitlement, you don't really offer anything else.
As a woman, you can make the first move. If you see a man you like, you should approach him. If I see somebody attractive, I'll make some eye contact. But not too much yet, just a couple glances. And if that's reciprocated, then I'll hold eye contact. And if I'm feeling spicy, I'll do a wink or I'll smile. You kind of have to smile. You got to be inviting. And if that is received well, you approach. If you're afraid of rejection, suck it up. You're a big girl. I'll approach and I'll compliment him, even if they're with other men. But I'll have an escape route just in case he's weird. I'll say something like, you look good, a little too good, and rush to the bathroom or get a drink or go do something. But when you're on the move, make sure it seems like you're coming back. Sometimes you're just not their cup of tea. Sometimes they're taken. So a compliment is harmless. If they stay in the same place, you're in there. If it looks like they're waiting for you, you're in there. They stop you in your tracks, you're in there. And then ask for their name. It's so simple. After that, they do the work, okay? Because you done showed that you're interested. You done enough.
You know, modern women continue to talk about why don't men chase? Where are the men who court? Where are the men who pursue? I'll be standing right behind you. I'll be standing right on side you. I'll be standing right in front of you. But you too busy looking at Chad to ever see where I am.
Can't believe I'm making this video, but apparently I have to. You guys out there have forgotten how to be a gentleman. So let's run through a few different things that you need to do for a woman. Number 1, open the door. Car door, bedroom door, restaurant door, whatever it is, open the door for her. Pay the bill. Be respectful. Ask her how she's feeling. Check in with her. When you're walking next to traffic, make sure you are on the side of where the traffic is. When you're crossing the road, hold her hand and make sure she's with you. Carry her bags for her if they're too heavy. Pull out her chair for her when she goes to sit down. When you're going for a walk and you see a flower, pick her the flower. If you're walking up the stairs, walk behind her. If you're walking down the stairs, walk in front of her. Make the decisions. Don't ask her what she feels like for dinner. Decide where you're going and take her there. And for fuck's sake, if you come to Bali, make sure you are riding the scooter, not her. She's a passenger princess, not you. And above all else, make sure she feels safe around you. None of that other matters unless she feels safe. If a woman does not feel safe around you, it's game over, no matter how good you are. That's it, mate. Start being a gentleman. Let's go, fellas. And ladies, don't be scared to send this to a few of the guys you know. That's it.
You know, men are not really they're not really scared to approach. But a lot of times, if you continue to treat me like a problem, I'm not going to be around you. That's just the long and short of it. You're a bum. You act like a bum. I don't want to be around a bum. That's simple.
I wish we'd go back to when guys are just always walking up to you when you're out. Like, could you imagine? Oh my gosh, if you're like at the grocery store, at the gym, they're like, hi, I just couldn't help but say you're so beautiful. Like, I'd love to take you out sometime if you're single. If they were like good looking, I'm like, can we go back to those times? But because like society has more and more changed women to be like the chasers or like things like this, it's like making a lot of men be like, oh, I can just sit.
But half of y'all have a funky attitude when somebody do approach you. If you feel that he doesn't make enough money or he not hopping out a Lambo or a Ferrari or some type of luxury car, you turned off. And if he say something to you, you got a funky attitude instead of just being nice and saying you're not interested, instead making him feel this big. So I don't blame men. I wouldn't walk up to no female either, because the way y'all be doing, like, who wants to be treated like when they ain't did nothing to you and they just being nice? It's okay not to be attracted to a person, but at the same time, like, what's wrong with being nice? Like, nobody ain't did nothing to you. You act like he disgusts you. That's the problem. And then you're right, a lot of women are definitely the chasers, but come on now. Y'all know y'all be having them funky attitudes. Y'all don't even be wanting nobody to say something to y'all in the gym. Like, be for real.
Okay, so to all the men in my comment section saying that they don't ask women out anymore because they think they're going to be labeled as creepy or they're going to go straight to jail. I mean, that's okay. Let's not, first of all, generalize entire group of people. No one should ever do that about any group of people. Number one. Number two, if you're totally happy, like, not being with a woman again, that's, like, totally fine. Like, go live in your peace. But if you're someone that does want to be with a woman, it does need to be talked about. Clearly, there are a lot of men that feel like women have been, like, mean to them, or, like, they think they're gonna, like, go to jail if they ask them out. I mean, there are a few very important questions here. How are you walking up to a woman? What are you saying? What are you doing? Now, if you're just, like, a nice guy who's genuinely just interested in someone, you're walking up to them and you're asking them out, and a girl lashes out on you, yeah, that's not cool. And that's where women are part of the problem. So the comments would be a little more insightful if you know, it didn't just say, like, all women suck, we don't try anymore. That's just not gonna help anything unless you genuinely just don't care. So if you could comment on how to bridge the gap better, then that would be awesome. A lot of you are saying, like, well, women, you ask us out too. Right, but, like, also, just as you're saying that we should be able to ask you out, you should also equally be able to ask us out. And at the end of the day, I do think this all comes back to confidence. I think it does.
You know, once people, I can't even say men in general, but once people stop being appreciated, they generally don't stay. And if they do stay, they're kind of like on autopilot. And that's what's happening to a lot of men in these relationships where women just not really appreciative.
It is so frustrating that people will see an independent woman and think, like, this is just what she loved to do. Why isn't that y'all look at it like this is a necessity for her? This was not a preference. We would love nothing more than to feel safe enough to be soft, to let down our guard, and to truly be vulnerable. But softness truly requires security, and not a lot of people can provide us with that. People truly forget and just don't even recognize that strength in our case truly came from absence, not abundance. We didn't want to choose to be the providers, the protectors, the problem solvers, but nobody else showed up, so we had to be that. So yes, we're independent, but it's not because we want to. It's not because we don't desire partnership. It's not because we don't desire support and someone to really lean on and love on us. We're truly independent because life has demanded it out of us, and being dependent on the wrong person in the past has cost us way too much. What we really want is to feel held without having to fall apart first, and love without proving why we are so worthy of it. So what y'all can do for us is just be there for us, support us, love on us, and show up time and time again, and that trust will build, and we will become these soft, beautiful people that y'all just want us to be so bad. Because it's inside of us. We were born to be feminine and soft and sweet. Do your part, we'll do ours.
A lot of these modern women like to mock. They like to degrade, insult, challenge, shame a man, his masculinity, his values, and then they wonder why men are opting out of dating. You don't really like that man. You just like the attention that he gives you.
Let me tell you something. Real masculinity recognizes real femininity, and they want to bask in it because it's so rare nowadays. Okay? So, if you want a man to do the most for you, stay in your feminine. Let him shine in his masculine. Stop trying to compete with him. Stop trying to outdo him. Allow him to do things for you. Don't help him financially. Don't try to get with men who need your help financially either. Don't try to force yourself into relationships that the man can't afford, because it's going to do is feminize him. And some of y'all pick Mishas out there keep doing that. Y'all be forcing y'all way into a relationship where that man can't even shine and be masculine because he needs some help. And who's going to help him? Pick Misha over there. And then when you help him, he's going to feel less and less, and he's not going to reach his potential, and he's not going to strive to be more masculine until another woman who doesn't know his past comes along and assumes he's masculine. He's going to take your little pick-me-sha money, and he's going to be masculine with your money to another woman until he gets himself together. So that's why you can't help men, okay? Because it literally repels them. It literally repels them. Maybe not at the time. Maybe they'll beg you because all they can think of is survival in that moment. But after the fact, it repels them. You understand? So you can't do it.
You know, men are looking at other people and they're saying, if marriage is going to be this way, if relationships are going to be this way, then why in the world am I signing that same contract? Why am I stepping in the middle of something that I know based on, you know, what I'm looking, based on what I've experienced, what I'm looking at, based on how this woman is acting now? We don't even have to go like, oh, well, my friend, my this and that, based on how she's acting now. I'm not sure it's going to work.
Maybe that's the thing to say. Which is what we have to find out. We have to find out these code words. Like Greg, I would say dinner's ready. And he wouldn't come. And then it would get cold. Well, I didn't find out till like 15 years of marriage that he didn't care if the food got cold. He just never wanted to wait for it. He wanted the food to wait for him. Which of course he hadn't told me before because he thought it was obvious. Yeah. And you don't want to waste any energy stating the obvious, which women don't know about men. So I changed it. Dinner's on the table. Oh, bam. Then I went the extra because, you know, I was a great wife. We'd have a date. And I'd arrive at the restaurant room and they're like, this someone, yes, my husband's going to join me. Okay, I'll be back. No, I want to order. Well, we're ordering. No, I'd like to order now. He doesn't care if it's hot. He cares if it's sitting there when he gets you. Are you letting me order? So some of them just won't let me order. They just don't believe me. Yeah. But then Greg arrives and dinner's on the table at the restaurant. You know how many points I got for that? Yeah. I got so many Greg wife points. Yeah. But if you listen to these slight things, right? Dinner's ready. Dinner's hot. Play with it. Play with it and you'll find out what connects it, which is most of what we got to do is find out what are the words that connect. And one of the things that men don't know about women, there's meanwhile, there's what happens if he gives a deadline, and yet still men are more forgiving of women being different than women are men being different.
I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't know what the good reason is, but if that's what comes with all of what's amazing about her, okay, we'll do.
And you know, there's a lot of women out there that complain about, you know, the bystander effect in men and how men don't really help out anymore. But it's not really a man's responsibility. But the way that you guys talk and the way that you guys act, a man doesn't really have any influence. So why am I going to be paying for something that I didn't create? Why am I going to be solving a problem that I didn't get myself into? I can help out here and there, but I'm not your security guard.
This will change how you see every woman that moved on fast after you. She didn't find somebody better. She found somebody to fill the feeling. Here's what actually happened. She wasn't in love with you. She was in love with the relationship, the title, the comfort, the idea of having someone. You were the person, but she was addicted to the feeling. And here's how you know. A woman who genuinely loved you does not replace you in 3 weeks, bro. A real woman needs time to grieve what was real. But a woman who loved the feeling, she's back on the market before you even process the breakup. Because she's not missing you, she's missing the routine. And this is the part that's gonna sting. It was never as genuine as you thought it was. Not because she's a bad person, but because some people don't know how to be alone. They move from relationship to relationship, collecting feelings and never actually connecting. She needed a body in the seat and you just so happen to be sitting there. The next guy isn't competition. He's a placeholder. So when you see her posting up with someone new 2 weeks after the fact, don't spiral, don't compare, don't reach out, exhale. because what just revealed itself is the most valuable information you could have received. She showed exactly who she was, and she did it for free. Now you know, and now you can move accordingly. Comment placeholder if this just explained everything. Or for the females, please tell me how I'm wrong.
You have a degree, a job, and have overcome so many challenges in life. But do you still feel empty inside?
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. That's because you need a husband. Once you get a husband, you can do so many things, like work all day at your job, then come home and work more. You get to cook dinner, clean the house, do laundry, wash the dishes, and so much more. Your husband was never taught how to do these things, so you get to do all the labor by yourself for free.
The patriarchy is not responsible for any side effects, including husband leaving you, husband cheating on you, husband feeling towards you, husband committing action you, husband starting a podcast, husband having a secret second family, and so much more.
The relationships that stand the test of time all have emotional boundaries. Here are a few non-negotiables that I recommend to my clients. Number 1 is emotional exclusivity. The deepest emotional conversations that you have belong inside of your romantic relationship. None of this work wife, work husband nonsense. No running to the group chat every time you two have a disagreement, because chances are you two will forgive each other, you two will work things out, but your friends and family won't be so forgiving. And once they know the intimate details of your relationship, it will leave a sour taste in their mouth. 2 is respect for each other's emotional limits. Vulnerability is not an unlimited resource that your partner is entitled to. If you've communicated something that's bothered you and nothing changed, you're not obligated to stay emotionally open. Their boss at work doesn't have to repeat themselves once they've made themselves clear, so why should you? Number 3 is emotional accountability. All feelings are welcome. All behaviors are not. Cussing each other out, huge emotional outbursts, and then saying, "Oh, I was just upset." Very emotionally immature and childish. If you can regulate the way you communicate at work, I promise you can regulate the way you communicate at home. Number 4 is individual emotional regulation. It is not your partner's job to be your sole source of emotional regulation. That is codependent and it's very unhealthy. The relationships that stand the test of time, each person has other sources of emotional validation, reassurance, and fulfillment.
All women are 304s. Nope. There is no such thing as traditional women anymore. Wrong. Women simply aren't worth it. What does that even mean? I am so tired of all of this negativity. Are you going to insist that masculinity is about growth, suffering, and overcoming difficult things, and then just not date because it's hard? Are some of you really so pessimistic and self-hating that you will just resign yourself to never feeling love and affection? Are you really going to sit here and insist that you have all of the answers to dating, and then just refuse to pass those answers on to a woman who is ready and willing to please you? Tell me, what battle are you even fighting? You insist there's a problem, but you aren't trying to actually solve it? What is the point of all of this other than to just kick and scream? There are a lot of great women out there looking for men with your values. Go meet them, be strong in your convictions, and enjoy the life that you can create with them. Because the negativity has got to stop.
I did not expect consideration from a woman until I got it. And now I be goddamned if a woman come by here and not be considerate and I let her slide. I didn't know that I needed to be spoken to in a gentle way until a woman did it. I didn't know I needed to have space held for me emotionally until a woman did it. So do I expect way more? And don't that's not even to mention the work that I've done in my own life. This is about, yes, men actually are raising our standard. It's happening slowly and surely, but it is happening. And I think right now we at this stalemate because women are raising theirs too. You feel me? So we all kind of looking at each other like, what else do you do? You know what I'm saying? Because no, I'm gonna keep it as candid as I can. For the longest time, money was enough. It was enough. You make you a decent living, you can find you a woman. Whether y'all loved each other or not wasn't the point. Y'all could find somebody. You had some on you could bear some kids, take care of a home, you could find you a man. That's not gonna work for nobody no more. So men are like, all right, you got shorty, what else? The last chick got that. Like, I ain't even have to work for that. So if you don't got more than that, what's up? And the same thing with ladies looking at the men, like, big dog, I got my own 6 figures, so what else do you do aside from come with money? So it's like, yes, we are all raising our standards. What the problem is, we've hit a stalemate because this is new territory for everybody.
I want to talk about this article, The Rise of Lonely Single Men. The first two reasons point to dating opportunities, specifically via apps, saying that more men than women are on dating apps. But it's the third reason I want to talk about. Men need to address skill deficits, particularly emotional skill deficits, to meet healthier relationship standards. I heard another creator say, when women didn't need men anymore, men needed to become likable, and they're not doing a very good job. And boy, ain't that the truth. The thing that I'm hearing from women is, we're out here leveling up. We're going to therapy. We're talking about our feelings. We're unpacking our trauma. We're doing the work. What this means is that in order for me to want to spend time with you, I have to enjoy my time with you more than I enjoy my time with myself. And let me tell you, that is a very high bar. So what the author of this paper is saying is, hey, men, go to therapy, talk about your feelings, learn some emotional regulation, figure out how the patriarchy and toxic masculinity is hurting you too. Maybe then you won't be so lonely.
All the time in my chair. Smart, beautiful, funny women talking about how impossible it is to find a good man. But honestly, after hearing the checklist they're working with, I'm not surprised. Modern dating isn't dating anymore. It sounds like Build-A-Bear for grown-ups. And men don't stand a chance. He has to be tall, but not too tall, because they don't want to feel like a toddler. He has to be confident, but humble, ambitious, but always available, funny, but not goofy, and emotional, but never fragile. Basically,
it ain't no wonder why guys don't want to get married.
And I've had guy friends tell me this. Women will text them before the date and be like, this is my Zelle, or you can Apple Pay me like for the Uber to get to the restaurant, or for the childcare for the night. And guys are like, is this a thing now? Like, I'm expected to pay for the transportation or the babysitter.
But my husband made a good point. If he has kids, he has to pay for his own babysitter, you know, and now he's expected to pay for not only his babysitter, her babysitter as well, and her Uber and the date. That's expensive.
These women are just making this man up in their head of what they believe that they deserve, which they might. Who am I?
That's a good term. What they deserve. That is
what am I? Who am I to say that they don't? But we have just allowed ourselves to make this kind of dream person up in our heads of like who he has to be and how much he has to make and how tall he has to be, and he has to be fertile too, obviously, like have the best children and have, you know, a great family and all of these things that make up a person that actually, yeah, they might matter, but you cannot have a 10 out of 10 checklist.
3 reasons a man will ignore you. The first reason is when he's done something wrong. The feeling that they did something wrong, and especially when they know that you know that they made a mistake, drives them crazy. Men are all about doing, and they identify with the result of their actions because it shows how competent they are as a man. You know, we women, we get all upset when we say something wrong, but a man will always get upset when he does something wrong, and that is the reason why he will ignore you. The second reason a man will ignore you is that he thinks you're too good for him. When he believes that you're out of his league and that there's absolutely no chance for you to be his ever, he will not even try to pursue you. And although he may like you, he will totally ignore you because a man's purpose is to go after a woman he can score a result with. And the third reason a man may ignore you, and this is maybe the most important one, is when you have hurt him. Believe it or not, but men are way more sensitive than we women are. And a man will never come up and tell you, you hurt me, you did this, you did that. That's what we women do. You know what a man does? He will completely ignore you. He will crawl back into his man cave to recover on his own. And you can send all the apologies you like, but don't expect an answer.
Gen Z men will never be breadwinners, so why do so many want traditional wives? You've likely already came across the report that showed almost a third of Gen Z men believe that a wife should obey her husband, which really shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone considering how often the so-called traditional gender roles are brought up these days, whether online or in the political arena. And here's another interesting statistic from the very same study. Gen Z men are the most likely demographic group across all ages and genders to agree that successful women are more attractive to men. If you try to stitch together an ideal partner based on what some Gen Z men say they want, you would likely end up with quite a peculiar hybrid. A woman who is ambitious and professionally accomplished, enjoying the freedoms won by the women's rights movement in public life, yet still willing to stick to all gender roles at home. This contradiction is also caused by the fact that men, especially young men, can't even fulfill their end of the traditional gender bargain anymore. That bargain did grant men authority in the household, sure, but in exchange for their ability to provide. And most young men today can't do that, and most likely will never be able to do so, considering how everything's going. So actually, in a relationship where both partners work and both partners contribute financially, it's often the women who do more of the providing, since they contribute through both paid labor as well as the unpaid care and emotional labor that keeps everything running. I've also just published an essay with more of my thoughts on this topic, so if you enjoyed this video and want to know more, the link to read it is in my profile.
This might be controversial, and I might even get canceled for it, but you know what? It's real, it's me, it's how I feel. I don't think I have met a smart man. I think men are capable of reading comprehension, maybe even memorization. Fine. As I get older, I'm nearing my 40s and I'm third wheeling with a lot of my friends. I'm seeing relationships between my family, and I don't think I've ever met a smart man. And I mean this in a way where I don't think any of the men that I know could live the life that they do currently without their wives. Just today, I was talking to a friend about some guy not reaching out to her, blah, blah, blah. And she's thinking if he wanted to, he would. I think he could want to as long as he lives, and he wouldn't because he's not smart. It gets to a point where you just have to do whatever you want to get what you want. So if you want this guy who hasn't texted you back, text him. Do whatever you want. Drag his to the altar if you want to marry him. And I think that's what it is. And I'm looking at my friends who are in relationships, and they've molded their partners to be exactly what they want. And that goes obviously without conversation and discussion, but that's it. I feel like single women forget that every husband that seems to be a good partner has been molded. They didn't come out that way. So stop giving men the benefit of the doubt and do whatever you want with them. They're stupid.
If you love a man who hates himself, he will make you hate yourself, but not all at once. That would be too obvious, too easy to run from. He does it in a way that feels like your idea, like you're the one becoming smaller, more understanding, more patient. He won't walk in with a sign that says, I'm going to be the thing that breaks you. He'll walk in charming enough, just self-aware enough to admit he's a little messed up. And you'll think you can handle it because you've been through things too. But what he doesn't say is he doesn't just hate himself. He believes deeply, very, very deeply, that anyone who loves him must be stupid or weak or lying. And that is when it starts. He doesn't trust you not because of what you've done, but because he doesn't trust anything good. So he'll question you, test you, pull away, come back, then pull away again. He'll make you believe you need to start working to prove you're different, you're real, you're not going anywhere. So you start over-explaining, over-giving, overstaying, and he lets you. Because it feeds something in him to watch you try that hard. And no matter how much you give, it will never be enough. Because the problem isn't that he can't find love. It's that he rejects it the second it is real. When someone hates themselves, they will not believe your love is something safe. They will see it as a threat. And a man will never change if he can convince you that you are the problem. So he does. He teaches you to question everything. Your body, your reactions, your worth, until you start apologizing for things you don't even understand. But he will never tell you to hate yourself. He will just create an environment where that's the only conclusion that's left. So you make yourself small, accept apologies without change, and bite your tongue so many times it'll start to scar. You will call it love, but love it is not. It's you learning how to see yourself the way he already does. And that's how it ends. You don't just lose him. You lose the ability to look in the mirror without picking yourself apart. That's what loving a man who hates himself does. It doesn't just break you. It teaches you how to do it on your own.
I think we're really losing recipes around this. And the reason why I say that is because men act like they are so scared to talk to women. I have never been in a generation that act like they are so scared to talk to women. And y'all, because when we talk to women, they either want to record and make videos or they just loud and embarrassed. Okay, be mindful of the type of women you want to walk up to. Just like you don't approach a woman. Just like I tell women, don't talk to talk to a man. There's a difference, and y'all need to learn that. But fellas, here's the thing. Say you see a woman, you out somewhere, say you're in Walmart, and you see a lady, and you see her, and you kind of, throw that real quick, hey, how you doing? And she responds back with a, okay, boy, that go to her. Because this whole creepy staring at women situation, this is creepy. And then once you stare at us too long, and you still looking, we looking at you like, okay, this creep. Walk up to her. let her know, hey, you know, I don't mean to disturb you. If I'm disturbing you, please let me know. Then I'll go ahead and walk away. But I don't want to be a bother. Can I have some of your time? And if she, oh, you're not disturbing me. Yeah, you have some of my time. What's up? If she says that, you in there. Get the game going. If she like, oh, you're disturbing me, keep walking. The issue is y'all don't know how to take rejection. Now if she give you, oh yeah, you know, you're not disturbing me, what's going on? That's when you lay your game down, baby. You lay your best game out there. You know, you seen her from across the room. You thought she looked nice and you wanted to get to know her. Hey, can I give you my number and you call me? Or can I get your number and I call you so we can set something up? Simple. When I say it's that easy, because I'm seeing too many videos of, I seen a man, but he just stared. Like, say something. Say something. Stop being so scared. Women are not that scary.
I've been thinking about why all the men in my comments feel so outraged and so angry about some of the advice I'm giving, and I want to share a theory. They seem to be really upset that they're having to put in a lot of work and a lot of, perceived effort, and that they're not really getting anywhere with women. And I want to talk about why I think this is. So I'm a millennial. I'm 36, and I think our generation of women were really the ones raised by this whole idea that women need to lean in. The Sheryl Sandberg book and all of these ideas that women are just not trying hard enough in their careers to get what they want. So culturally, women are really being pushed to succeed and to make their own money and be more financially successful than ever before. But what's happening to the men? I think a lot of them become upset that no one's really there mentoring them or nurturing them in that way. And then they realize they've got a society full of women who really don't need them financially and are looking for emotionally supportive, equal partners. But who's trained the men to become those equal partners? While society is certainly changing, it's still tough for a lot of men to reach out for therapy or for mentorship or to get emotional support and nurturing, even today. And I think all this anger that I'm getting from people in my comments is that they realize that they just haven't received the resources to be able to keep up and catch up with the women that they're trying to attract. And this is one of the reasons that I'm a men's dating coach. A lot of men want to be the modern, equitable partners for the women of their dreams, women who don't need them, but really want them.
Y'all keep on telling men, I don't know why modern women be acting like this. Y'all keep on telling men that he's not necessary. Y'all keep on telling a man he's not needed. Why would I be hanging around you? It'd be like me going to school and then sitting by my friend and like, oh man, we really didn't need that, but thanks. How would you feel if you went to work and people and the boss kept on telling you every single time you worked really hard on your stuff? Oh, we don't need it, but appreciate it. You stop putting forth effort.